All right, so this is going to take you from the very basics of how to work with Sculptris into how to make a nice looking face in 3 dimensions. Now, my first piece of advice is don't click full screen up there. I found on my Mac, for some reason, it crashes if you do that. So I usually just make the screen as big as it will go. Okay, now we're going to start by just showing you some of the tools. The first one, the one you're going to use most, is the Draw tool. It looks just like that. If you notice, there's a little line there going down the center of the sphere that you start with. And this does a symmetry thing, which is really great for working with faces. So you can see if I draw something on one side, it mirrors it on the other. And I can see just using the simple Draw tool, I can very quickly make, you know, like a little face there. And using the 2-finger touch on like a Mac, you can move around and take a look at what you've created there. Now, every one of these tools has an Alt version, which will do the exact opposite. So if I use the Draw tool, you can see that it makes things that stick out. But we can also use the Alt version of that to push in. So if I press Option on the keyboard and hit it, you can see it's making an indentation there instead of something that sticks out. Now let's say you've got something and you don't really like what you've drawn and you want to kind of erase it. The Shift key, if you press down the Shift key, it will smooth things out. So I can take this and I can flatten things back to where they were before. Now you can also just undo, but smoothing is actually very important for other things that we're going to do. So you definitely want to know that. There's a lot of different controls here. I'm not going to get into all of them right now, but the other one I use quite a bit is the Crease Tool, and that is almost like if you had a piece of clay. It's almost like using a pencil and kind of like drawing into it, okay? So you can see it can get more sort of flat, 2-dimensional look if I do something like that. And again, that has an Alt version where it will have things that poke out. So you can see I can add on things like eyelashes. There's other tools in there like the flatten tool and the bloat tool and the pinch tool, but I don't want to get too much into those. For now, just start with Crease, Draw, and using the Shift to smooth things out and see if you can draw a face. Okay, we're just going to start with very simple. Give yourself about 15-20 minutes and see if you can draw a face on the sphere. I'll let you do that and then go back to the video when you're done. Gave him a funky mohawk because I was feeling pretty punk rock today. But you'll notice that when you start with a sphere, you're going to have problems. Everything you make is going to kind of look like you did a face on the side of a baseball. That is why I have made for you a special file that you can download that will give you a sort of basic head shape to work from. It's not the easiest way to download it. I have a website on Wix that you can pull it from, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. There's a link in the YouTube description down below, or maybe your teacher's done it for you already. But what you're going to do is you're going to go to my website, you're going to go to Sculptris, and you're going to click Download. And it will download a file. Now here's the problem. The file that it's downloaded, you'll see, is a .doc file. We need to change that. Because it would not let me upload a zip file. Thanks, Wix. So I had to change it to a DOC file. You just change that little thing at the end to .zip. Say use zip. Now you double click that and it should open up just like that. Boom, you got a whole folder and there's a couple files in there. I've got a PowerPoint in there if your teacher wants to use it. And I've got head blank. I've got 2 that I've already made. I'll show you those a little later, but head blank is what you're going to want to use. So we'll just go back to Sculptris. And if you want to save this one, you can. There's a save file right there. Click Save. If you want to just get rid of it because it's just your first draft, that's fine. We're going to get better at this as we go. So I'm going to go Open. I'm going to grab headblank.sc1, press Open there, and go New Scene. Changes will be lost. Okay. Boom. Okay, so now I've got something that looks much more like a head. Let's start. We're going to make some eye sockets in this. So I'm going to use my Draw tool, and I'm going to make I'm going to press in. I'm going to use the Alt button to press in. Now, one of the things we want to do is we want to start playing around with these controllers up here. This is going to control the size of your brush, whether it's a really big brush or a really small brush. Now, it gets kind of annoying to go back up there since you use it all the time. If you want to get fancy, if you press the space bar, this little thing pops up right on your screen and you can just change it right there. It's going to make your life so much easier. So let's go in there and I'm going to press Alt. So I'm pressing in and I'm going to make some eye sockets. Okay, so don't want to go too deep, just deep enough. All right. Next, let's make a nose. Shoot my brush a little bit. For the nose, just gonna go right between those eyes, down below, and make sort of an arrow shape. Now, one of the things you're gonna notice is you'll go, oh, okay, I've made a nice looking nose. That looks pretty good. But if you turn to the side, you'll go, oh, he needs a nose job. You can make things bigger. You can also remember hold down Shift to flatten things. You can try things like bloat or pinch if you want to make them look more, Michael Jackson style. Give him a little skinny nose or a big round bulbous nose. It's up to you. So I'll spend some time here and make a nose. It also helps if you use the Crease Tool. You can go around the edges of things to kind of get them to sharpen up and kind of pop out. So just go around the edge of that nose down there at the bottom. Little crease there. Okay, so I'm going to add a center to the eye. I'm just going to use the Draw tool and just kind of keep clicking until I get the eye to start coming out. Next, I'm going to add an eyebrow across over the top. Should cross over right over the top of that eye and blend in with it. And then I'm going to go in with the Crease tool and kind of sharpen up where I want the edge of this eye to be. All right, let's do a mouth now. So down here, using the Draw tool. As you do a crease through the middle. If you want it to look more feminine, you can crease around the edges. It looks like I'm kind of making a dude, so I guess I'll go more masculine on there. I'm gonna not outline the whole mouth there, just kind of smooth around the edge. Next, we need to give him a chin. I kind of don't give you much of a chin, so you can make your own chin. So we're gonna grab my Draw tool, zoom out a little bit, and we're gonna need a much bigger brush. Now, for the chin, what you're going to need to do is kind of go big and then smooth it back. So I'm going to go give him a lot of chin at first. Really stick that chin out. Oh, that's a lot of chin. So give him too much chin, and then I use the Shift button to kind of smooth it out, kind of get it where I want it to be. Now, same thing along here. I didn't really give you a much of a jawline, so we can go along the edge here. And again, we're going kind of big at first. We're going to go straight up there. There's sort of his jawbone. We're going to make it a little big. Oops. Oh, no, that's too much. But that's okay, because I'm just going to hold Shift and smooth it out along this side. And it should blend in nicely with the rest of that face. Give him a little cheekbones, too. Okay, let's give him an ear. We're going to stick the ear right in the middle of the head. Now, obviously, ears are a lot more complicated than this. There's all kinds of craziness going on in there. I'm just going to do a simple ear for now. Now, we're going to do the hair as a large mass, and then we'll kind of add some texture to it with the Crease tool. So I'm going to use the Draw tool again, and I'm going to get a pretty big brush. Okay. Now, I'm going to start by doing the edge. So I'll start kind of right in front of the ear there. I'm going to go up and around the front. And then over the ear. And then around the back of the head. And this is kind of the outline of where the hair is going to be. And then what you're going to do is just kind of go crazy and add some lumpiness to everything inside that line. Okay, so I've added some sort of lumpiness to the hair, but now I want to get it sharper. So again, moving from the draw tool to the crease tool, I'm going to go around the edges. And then from here, I'm going to go in and add some creases to the hair just to kind of give it more of a hair texture. All right, now you've got a basic face. Now with those tools that I've shown you, you can get creative with it and do all kinds of stuff. Now there is a paint thing here. I would say be careful, don't touch it. I've had it crash my computer. Maybe save your stuff first if you want to do that. You know what? It's a good time to save anyway, so save it. I'll show you some of the ones I've spent a little more time on. Let's see, here's one I did a self-portraits. I used some photo references there and spent a lot more time on it. So you can see, there we go. I even added in like collars and eyebrows and pupils. You can use that as a reference. Definitely spent a little more time on those ears, trying to get the shape of the head right. So you can see this one's got big crazy horns. And you can print these out. You are more than welcome to export these if you have a 3D printer. These things go great into a 3D printer and make it a whole painting thing, so it's pretty cool. All right, so there you go. There's some basics on Sculptris. Go and explore.